Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. We'll have a bit of a chat while I go for a walk here along the coast. We'll do a week in review video today. We'll have a bit of a talk about what has happened in Spain over the last 7 days or so. It's been a bit of a quiet week, but there have been a few things that have caught my attention, so that's what we will talk about today. Let's go. Now it's a nice sunny day today on the Silver Coast here in Portugal. I'll turn the camera around so you can get a glimpse of the ocean today. Now, as you can see, a fairly calm day today, a fairly placid Atlantic Ocean, as we can see. A few fishing boats out there getting the catch of the day to fill the restaurants in this area with fresh fish, because I'm sure that lots of people will be coming here today and having a fish meal. Very popular in this part of Portugal. And I must say that I do enjoy a meal of fresh fish every now and again here in Portugal. Very, very tasty fish dishes indeed. So, what have been some of the main stories in the press this week in Spain? Well, it's all about energy reduction. As we know, the new government mandate came into force this week, Wednesday I think it was, where businesses have to have their air conditioners set at 27 degrees Celsius. Lots of businesses were complaining that it was a bit difficult to understand, and some businesses even said that they prefer to turn their air conditioning off, given that it is hotter inside with the air conditioning at 27. There was one case of a business in the Basque Country that normally has air conditioning set to 20 degrees, and they said in that business that they're just going to turn the air conditioning off, leave the doors open, and it would be cooler that way in that business. The government also had to have an urgent meeting with the autonomous communities to convince them about these new laws, rules and regulations. Some of the autonomous communities in Spain, especially the ones that are run by the Partido Popular Party, are not really on board with this new mandate, and they have said that they're going to go to the Constitutional Court to get things cleared up. So even when it comes to an energy crisis in Spain and trying to save energy, you can't get everybody on the same page with these rules and regulations. Now, another thing that caught my attention this week was that more strike action was announced by ground staff working for Ryanair in Spain, the low-cost operator Ryanair. They said that they are going to go on strike, or they will be striking 4 days a week or 5 days a week for the next 3 or 4 months. I think up until January 2023 is what they have announced. And if we put this strike together with another strike that is currently going on in Spain with EasyJet, another low-cost operator, pilots in Spain working for EasyJet are also striking at the moment, cancelling flights around the country. It's not good news when it comes to air travel in Spain, or at least low-cost air travel in Spain, and I'm sure that lots of people are going to have their flights disrupted over the next few months if an agreement cannot be reached between the unions and the company Ryanair. Now, another thing that was announced by the government yesterday was a gas pipeline that will take gas from Spain, gas that comes from Algeria into Spain, and the government has said that they're planning a pipeline that will go through Catalonia, through France and into Germany to help solve some of those German energy woes that, of course, have arisen since the Ukraine-Russia conflict flared up a few months ago. And the government says that they expect to have this pipeline finished in around 7, 8, maybe 9 months' time. And that was a big announcement yesterday made by the government. So it seems that Spain will be the answer to the rest of Europe's energy woes by getting this pipeline up and running. So we'll see if the government can get this pipeline finished in the time frame that they have set. As I said, around 8 or 9 months. It's going to be a big project. Now, another thing that has caught my attention this week, also related to air travel, not strike action, but the fact that Spanish airports are at 92% capacity compared to 2019 before the pandemic. As we know, there were a couple of lean years there, 2020 and 2021, but 92% air traffic back in Spanish airports. So very busy. And as we know, Spain is having a bumper tourist season this year. Places are absolutely packed, especially some of the places there on the Mediterranean. I also read the other day in the paper that some places in Cádiz are booming also, 3 or 4 times the normal population. Locals are complaining because they're not used to having so many people around, but people out and about in Spain on holidays at the moment, very, very busy. And some of the images that I have seen of crowded beaches in Spain, unbelievable. I don't know how people find space for their towel on some of those beaches, let alone trying to get a drink in one of the many chiringuitos. So one of the motors of the Spanish economy, the tourism sector, back in full swing in 2022, and people enjoying a Spanish holiday. Now, I made a comment the other day about free camping here in Portugal. There, as we can see, there's a group of people that have decided that it's a good idea to pitch tents there on the coast and get the best views that they possibly can. I think they're from France, not sure, but they're giving themselves high fives with the views, as we can see. And a few people criticised me for criticising free camping here in Portugal. It is illegal. Some people said that it wasn't illegal, that the Portuguese have passed a law saying that people can free camp, but I don't think that is the case. In fact, I think they have become even stricter when it comes to people setting up camp here on the coast. But people obviously not paying attention to those restrictions, doing whatever they want to do and enjoying free camping. But of course the issues come from people that buy houses like these ones behind me that pay a lot of money to have these views, and they get people setting up camp, and there's a guy over there taking a piss at the moment. So that's what you have to put up with if you buy one of these houses here in Portugal. People camping right on your doorstep and basically using that area as a big toilet. So I'll open the debate, free camping or rugged camping on the coast here in Portugal. Should it be allowed? Should people be allowed to pitch tent there on the coast when people pay fortunes for these houses that I have behind me? What do you think? Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. So what is next on the list when it comes to news in Spain over the last week or so? Well, one word has been dominating the press, and it is the word drought. D-R-O-U-G-H-T. Strange pronunciation of that word, as we know. Doesn't really make sense, and difficult for foreign people to learn. But the word drought dominating the press in Spain at the moment, because there are some places, that are very, very dry, especially in the north of the country, Galicia, in the Orense region, a place that you wouldn't normally associate with drought, given that it normally rains a lot in that part of Spain. Andalucia also having drought problems at the moment, but again, we expect that in that part of the world because they normally have very hot summers down there, but of course there were no winter rains, and that's the problem in Galicia as well. We saw it back in January, February, when we started to see very low river levels, very low dam levels in Galicia, and apparently the situation in one Galician town, Ribadavia, is so bad that they're even having trouble getting water tanks into that part of the world to give the population enough water. So very, very severe drought conditions in Galicia at the moment. So I imagine it's going to be a difficult couple of months for people living in those Galician towns that don't have water at the moment, but hopefully it'll start raining in October, November, and they can get a bit of rain in those dams and put an end to the severe drought. Probably not as easy to do down there in Andalusia, but hopefully Galicia will get back to normal conditions and be a rainy part of Spain again. And the final thing I'll talk about today is the heat wave in Spain. Apparently it is going to come to an end, but it's going to go out with a bang, especially there on the Mediterranean in places like Alicante, Valencia. But as I said, a bit of relief in sight, the heat wave coming to an end, because it has been a terrible summer in my opinion in Spain. Luckily, I've been here for the last few weeks enjoying cooler temperatures, but from what I've seen in the comment section, from what I have seen in the news, it has been a very, very hot last 3 or 4 weeks in many parts of Spain. A very hot, unbearable summer for a lot of people, and unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, it looks like this will be the trend going forward with these very hot, unbearable summers in Spain. Now, I know what people are going to say. Summers are always hot in Spain, but I've been living in Spain for 22 years, and I must say that this was the hottest summer that I have experienced over that time, especially nighttime temperatures. They have been terrible, or at least they were terrible when I was in Madrid, and I even came to the conclusion that I need air conditioning, which is the first time in 22 years that I have thought that air conditioning is needed in my home. So let's hope that temperatures do drop a little bit and stay lower for what remains of the summer in Spain. On that note, I'll wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the video out as you normally do. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego, ate luego.